Hey guys, today I've got 4 tips to help you improve your espresso. G'day, I'm Luke and welcome back to the Artistic YouTube channel where we guide you through all things coffee. So you don't miss out on one of our latest videos, make sure you subscribe, like and hit the bell icon and you'll get notified when we pop up our latest video. And if you've got a question, hey, leave it in the comments below. We do love answering them and just hearing what you've got to say. Today, I'm going to give you 4 great tips to help you improve your espresso. So obviously there's so much more in this topic, but these 4 are really going to allow you to go from someone that's making an average cup of espresso to getting something that's far more consistent and a great cup. So the first thing is get to know your product. So get yourself your bag of beans and turn it around and start to understand what information is on the bag. The first thing I want you to look for is a roast date. Now, a bag may have a batch date, which is fine, but we want to know when that product is actually roasted. And from roast date all the way through up to 20 days, I want you to do a test and taste the coffee every single day. Now, at some point, you're going to find that coffee is actually going to be what you're going to enjoy more. For our recommendations, I would say start from 7 days and maybe work up to 14 days, because from 7 days, the gas will have been released from the coffee and you'll start to taste the flavors of the actual coffee over the carbon dioxide which is in the bag. My second tip is be consistent in everything you do behind a coffee machine, because all of these little parts are going to play a role in your end extraction. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's give you a quick little demo. So we're going to obviously weigh our dose in. So we're going to get the right amount of coffee. Hot, warm handles, clean and dry. Just make sure you do the same thing every time. How you actually distribute your coffee into your handle, if you're going to swirl it and you're going to tap it 2 times, just make sure you do that same thing every time. Don't sort of re-tap and change that process. If you've got a distributing tool, make sure you use it every time. If you don't and you're just going to sort of tap it along the side, again, tap it 3 times. Make sure if you're using your finger, you're leveling it the same every single time. And then when you're going to be applying your pressure onto the coffee for tamping, we've got an automatic tamper here, obviously. So that's going to be a nice, easy process. But if you've got a manual tamper, make sure you do put the same amount of pressure onto that coffee. Make sure that it's not on an angle. Spend the time to get that the same every single time. So eliminating all these variables out of the process, you'll be focusing on the grind to adjust your extraction and your recipe. So my third tip is know your dose weight. Now your dose is the amount of ground coffee that is going to end up in your portafilter. Now we've talked about this before, but the best way to do that is use a scale. So highly recommend getting yourself a cheap scale and keeping a consistent weight in here every single time is going to make sure that the pressure you apply, the distributing that you're putting onto the coffee is always going to be the same. The only variable outside of that is going to be the grind and the age of the bean and how that's going to affect when water comes into play. And finally, my last piece of advice is work out a brew recipe that suits you. Now, why do I say what suits you? Because we all love different types of coffee. Whether it's stronger, milkier, black, all of those different types of coffee, you need to tailor something that's going to suit what you need. Now, how do you do that? Well, you need to make a brew recipe by weighing in how much coffee you've got at the start, weighing in how much liquid actually ends up in your cup. That is going to give you a brew ratio, and then you're going to add time into the equation, which makes it a recipe. Now, we've got another video that will tell you all about how to make your own one, but a quick little summary, a 1-to-1 ratio for us is when we put 22 grams of coffee into the portafilter basket. When we weigh it out, the end liquid in a ristretto is going to be 22.5 grams, and we are looking for about 22 seconds to achieve that. Now, if you want to make a more full-bodied, double shot, maybe, kind of coffee, we're going to look at a 2-to-1 recipe. That is still 22.5 grams of coffee in our portafilter handle. We're going to get 45 grams of liquid yield in our cup, and we're going to be looking at about 32 to 33 seconds of time to give you that recipe. So they're my 4 points that will help you make a much better espresso. Hey, if you've got a tip, please leave it in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think is going to make a difference in everyone else's coffee. Thanks very much for watching. Have an awesome day.